Welcome to the Adventure Genre presentation by Stephanie Reynolds and Michelle Schiffer. Some of the major characteristics of the adventure genre include a story that is dominated by action, one where there is danger, risk, and excitement, events that are more remarkable and extraordinary than real life, characterized by survival or life in the great outdoors. Additional characteristics include a protagonist that is usually a male. They are often children that encounter situations that require problem-solving, quick thinking, and inner strength. Characters that succeed without adult assistance. And adventures that change the character. Hatchet is part of the adventure subtype, survival. That is characterized by a protagonist who must learn to survive alone. A character that has a limited number of resources and begins survival by taking inventory. The character starts by building shelter. Then the character learns to build a fire. On our annotated bibliography, we have Are You My Mother? A newly hatched bird goes on a journey to find his mother, refusing to give up until he succeeds. This text can be used for a 5th grade ELL student because it contains many pictures. The Magic School Bus, The Wild Leaf Ride. Miss Frizzle takes her students on a ride where they become small and search the forest for a missing leaf. This text can be used for 5th grade because it contains 2 or 3 sentences per page for struggling readers. Curious George Goes Camping. George's curiosity of the outdoors gets the better of him, and he ends up running into the woods where he is later rescued. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows students to learn the genre characteristics of adventure. The Swiss Family Robinson. The family learns about being able to use the natural resources of the world and to be self-reliant. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows students to learn the importance of setting in the genre. Oh, the Places You'll Go. The character leaves town to travel to another area where he is intrigued by the things he can discover. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows the reader to learn of the protagonist taking on a quest. Treasure Island. A sea captain and friends find a treasure map and decide to follow it, encountering struggles along the way. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows the reader to learn about overcoming obstacles. Divergent. A young woman living in the future leaves her family for a difficult life and saves her city from being destroyed by the government. This text level can be used for 5th grade because it allows the student to learn the variety of text predictability. The Maze Runner. A young boy wakes up in an unknown place, only remembering his name, and the only way out is a maze. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows the reader to learn problem solving. The Hunger Games. This text can be used for 5th grade because the character displays heroism and is involved in a challenging situation. To learn more about the Hunger Games, you can click this link to listen to a book talk. Maniac Magee. Jeffrey runs away from his unhappy home and ends up changing the lives of a racially divided small town. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows the reader to learn resolution. And finally, Hatchet. Brian is stranded in the wilderness after a plane crash and must survive on his own with only his hatchet. This text can be used for 5th grade because it allows the reader to learn about conflict. Our Comprehension Mini Lesson 1. Students will respond to the prompt to check their understanding on the chapter. Brian has changed in the way he thinks since the start of the novel. Create a Venn diagram. Label one circle as City Brian and circle 2 as Wilderness Brian. In circle 1, you will describe how Brian looked at his situations in the beginning of the novel. In circle 2, you will describe how Brian looked at situations toward the end of the novel. In the overlapping center, describe the ways in which Brian remains the same. Comprehension Mini Lesson 2. The students will work in a group to determine the themes that are a part of the story. The teacher will let the students know that there are two main themes of the story. They are Brian's survival in the wilderness and his inner struggle with his family issues. Students will take a few minutes to write down what they think the themes are. They will then discuss as a group. Finally, we will make a list on the board of all of the ideas and work to narrow the themes down to the two main themes. Vocabulary Mini Lesson 1. Provide students with the vocabulary words for the unit. Students will make a concept definition map. This graphic organizer allows students to draw an illustration representing their words. The illustration can depict the word, definition, related concept, or an example. Prompt: you have 8 index cards, 1 for each word. In the center, you are to write the vocabulary word. Around the word, you are to draw a picture or pictures depicting the meaning. Vocabulary Mini Lesson 2. The students will be given a list of words from the text that have prefixes or suffixes. There will also be prefixes or suffixes and root words written on paper and taped in various places in the classroom. The students will be asked to break down the words into their prefix or suffix and the root word. Students will define the words based upon this information. When the students are finished with their words, they will pick one root word and one prefix or suffix and make 4 other words, real or nonsense, using the papers that are hung around the room, matching a prefix or suffix with a root word. They must also write the meaning of the words they are creating. Writing Mini Lesson 1. Have a discussion about how wildlife is both dangerous and important in a survival situation. Students will research pictures of wildlife in the Canadian wilderness. The information found will be discussed, and then the students will describe what is dangerous about these animals, as well as how those animals can be used for survival. Have students explain what they would eat and how they would prepare it. Allow students to brainstorm what they could use to acquire the animals. After discussing, students will write a paragraph explaining what they think the best survival methods are. Writing Mini Lesson 2. As a group, the students will create a journal about Brian's time in the wilderness. They will work together to create a graphic organizer to assist with writing the entries. There should be 3 entries: one from the first days after the crash, one from after he is rescued, and one from somewhere in between. There should also be a drawing to accompany each of the entries. Thank you for viewing our presentation. We hope you found it enjoyable.